Hello and welcome to what was the Arsenal Bite-Size podcast and is now the weekly canon. I'm your host Clayton, and today I'm delighted to welcome a podcast debutant in Tom to the pod. Tom, how are we doing?
Yeah, very good, mate. Yourself?
Doing good. We were speaking a little bit off air before we went live, obviously on Cloud9 at the minute. It's a big one. So for anyone that is watching, thinking, yeah, where the hell have you been? Yeah, I've been flying back from Canada. So I missed the North London Derby live. I think that's the first home one I remember as an adult physically not being at, like other than COVID. I genuinely can't remember a home one I wasn't at. So that was a very weird experience for me. But yeah, I was flying. So I'm back in England. I was physically at the Bayern game. I know you were there. So yeah, that's why we've been in hiding a bit. But it makes for a good pod because when in my head, my plan was, all right, we'll kind of cover Spurs and Bayern on Friday, then look at Chelsea. But this was before the Bayern game. I was like, it could be a bit of a weird pod if we like thrash Spurs and then lose to Bayern or something. So thankfully the Arsenal did their job. But before we go into it, just want to kind of ask you a few questions if you don't mind. And I am putting you on the spot here because I haven't prepped you on this. But if anyone that's wondering who's Tom, we usually have guests that like have a Twitter handle they can go follow and stuff. But Tom and I actually met through FPL Twitter like a couple years ago, and we've been speaking in. We're both in a like quite a busy Arsenal group chat, and I think it's fair to say we got on quite well. See the game quite similarly, I'd say. So it's been nice chatting to you through there. But it's obviously the first time we're kind of chatting like this. So my question is more like, could you just share a bit about your story around supporting the Arsenal, like how you got into supporting the club, some of your favorite memories, I guess, all of that good stuff?
Yeah, so it's a strange one for me. So I'm not from London. I started supporting Arsenal probably in the mid '90s, and it's a really strange story. So I was kind of not a strange story, but I was looking for a team to support. I was kind of getting into football and stuff as like a 6-7-year-old, and Arsene Wenger had just taken over at Arsenal, and I liked the fact that his name was similar to the team, and that was the beginning. That was the root of kind of my Arsenal following. And then obviously I had a few kind of like-minded people, like Arsenal supporters at school and stuff that I used to kind of knock around with and chat to, and kind of the love just grew from there, really. And yeah, so this is, I think, I was obviously when the Invincibles and everything else. Obviously, it was great. We were on cloud 9. I thought things were never going to be any different or bad at that point as like a teenager, a 14-year-old or whatever. But then obviously we had a few down seasons after that. So kind of been through the good and bad with Arsenal a little bit. Managed to get to a couple of the FA Cup finals in the 2010s, which was, I think, probably my best memories. Remember a semi-final against Man City as well, where we came from behind and won, which was unbelievable. Like, just went into it with no expectations. I think Aguero scored, and then there were even fewer expectations. But then, the boys came back. So, and obviously ecstatic with what's happening now.
Oh, for sure. It's funny what you said about the Arsene Wenger thing. Like, I don't think I'm saying anything new here, but like myself and so many people, I think growing up as kids was like, he's got to be related to Arsenal in some way, like, or was Arsenal named after him, kind of thing. When I was a kid. So yeah, I relate to that a lot. But yeah, I think what you just said there in terms of like where we were, where we went, and where we are now. Like, I think you and I have shared very similar views on what the art of the possible is with this project. I'd say for years. I can't remember when we first started speaking, but like as long as I've known you, I just feel like we've both been very similar and like bullish on it. I think there's people that feel they can see what's possible, but don't have the balls to put the words out there. Whereas I think you and I have just kind of been gung ho and like we think. Okay, I won't speak for you. I'll let you decide if you want to put it on a podcast. But like I've said it. I've said it. Like I think we will win everything with this manager as long as he's here. Like, and not only that, I think we will consistently be there at the top level. Like I said on the Planet FPL podcast this week, like if he's here for another 8 years, I see us winning a minimum of 3 or 4 of the big ones in a combination of like the Premier Leagues, the Champions League. And not only that, I just see us consistently being up there. If we don't win it, I see us being second, third at worst. I don't see a slot type season under him. And I know I know how you think, but like, yeah, just kind of tell everyone who's not aware of where you are, like what you think of the manager. You kind of spoke a little bit there about where we used to be, how good we were, the Invincibles. Was there a moment in that kind of banter era where you thought we'd be able to get to where we are now?
Honestly, no. I thought we were done. I thought especially with the likes of when Man City came in and they were spending so much money year after year, and we were struggling to compete with even the likes of United and Chelsea and Liverpool and everybody else as well. Like when Arteta came in, we were in the shit. I wasn't convinced that we would end up in the Champions League again in the 2020s. Like I really wasn't. And now, like I say this a lot, I feel like Arteta's changed our lives.
For sure. It's an understatement to say it.
I'm kind of super like relaxed about the lack of trophies so far. I really think that the football manager can put you in a place to win stuff or have the best chance of winning stuff. But you can't. There's certain things that you can't control at a football club. And I guess a big one is the performance of other teams. A big one is injuries to a point, and a big one is kind of refereeing decisions and variance within games, that sort of thing. I firmly believe that there's nobody on planet Earth, I don't think, that I would replace Arteta with at this point. Like I think he's given us the best chance year after year to win all the big prizes. I don't think that I would say. I mean, I wouldn't guarantee that if he stays another 10 years, he wins the Champions League or whatever, because knockout football is knockout football. But I think there is a small chance that we wouldn't. I think there's a very, very big chance that if he stays for the next 5-10 years, we probably win multiple of everything.
Yeah, I agree. I think I very much, my brain is wired in like probabilities in life, and like what you say about the knockout format of football. I almost look at it with the league as well. Like I think there is more ability to control things within and maybe minimize variance within a 38 game week domestic league campaign, but I still look at it as like there is so much variance that can happen. But with him, I just think he will always maximize the probability of things within our control. Like I have no doubt of that, and I've never felt that way. Like I don't doubt that there's not many things that I think he'll get tactically outmaneuvered in, or like he's left something to chance or hasn't thought about this. And I love the man, honestly, and like to the point where I agree. Despite the potential variance that comes in knockout competitions, I would put money on if he's here for 8 years. I would put money on one Champions League minimum, because like you look at how long did it take Pep to win one with City? Was it 6 or 7 years or something?
Yeah, so Pep joined in, I think it was 2016 or something like that, and they won the first one the year that the 2023. So it took him 7 years, and not just 7 years. 7 years of probably being the outright. I guess probably 5 of those 7 years they were easily the outright best team in the world. Yeah, and nobody would have argued with that at all.
And I think the way I look at it with us is like his first year back. Our first year back in the competition, his first year as a manager in that competition. Fair enough, quarterfinals, we went out against Bayern Munich. But then the next year, with a squad that was kind of on its arse at the minute, like we were having to play Marino up front against PSG, but like semi-finals on his second attempt. And I just think, give him 8 attempts at it. If 2 or 3 of those 8 attempts happen to be with a fully fit squad, flipping hell, dreamland. But
definitely, and obviously we'll get onto it in a minute. But we've just gone and beat Bayern Munich. We pulverized Bayern Munich in that second half with Mikel Marino up front again. Like that's happened. We've got 3 strikers that are all injured.
I know it's scary. Wait, there's 2 games to cover. What one do you want to do first? Spurs was obviously on the weekend, but Bayern Munich's kind of fresh in mind. So I'll let you decide. Is there one?
Yeah,
let's front and center in your head you'd like to do?
Let's go for Spurs first. I think Spurs is probably a bit of an easier one to do. It
was a non-contest, wasn't it? It
really was. That's the weakest, most insipid performance I've seen from a Spurs team in a North London derby for a very, very long time.
Yeah, me too. I said that the other day. Like it was embarrassing. Like they
Was.
usually show up with a bit of the kind of cliches, like the fight, the needle, all of that stuff. Like because we 9 times out of 10 apart from the banter eras where it was a little bit more close, like we are typically comfortably better than them as a football team.
Yeah.
But like this was levels. It was absolutely ridiculous. And like, I think what set the tone for me was the whole occasion of like North London derbies for me are so interesting. Like I'm a very emotional football fan, and like obviously my relationship with Arsenal and experience has been a bit different the last 3 months where I've been abroad and not physically going. But like
Yeah.
I always feel sick on Derby Day. Like I'm usually unable to eat. I lose my appetite, and I felt chill. I felt really chill. I think I said this in the group last week. There was an element of me that thought if we didn't have Gyökeres, like how stupid was this? I thought if we didn't have Gyökeres, we may like draw the game. But kind of, and it was like not a criticism of Marino. I just thought it with Marino up top against an anticipated back five, would we have enough to be able to create the space to score the goals? And like again, what I love about Arteta, what he did tactically to kind of move Marino out. Like the first goal is the epitome of it. But all that to say, there's been years where it's been close, and this was ridiculous. But what set the tone for me was like the atmosphere, kind of the build up of the game, like the tifo, like that. It makes a big difference. Stuff like that, those kind of soft factors, and then you see Eze clipping the ball into Rice, smacking in a volley in the second minute, gets saved, but it's like they were on the back foot from the minute the whistle went, in my opinion.
Mate, they were on the back foot from the minute Thomas Frank put his team sheet out. I'm like, I'll be honest, that side with those two in midfield and that back five was a white flag, in my opinion. Like, it wasn't quite, please don't beat us by too many, but it was very much.
We'll take the 3-0 forfeit.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. We'll quit. Yeah, exactly. Rage quit. Yeah, it occurred to me that all the shit that we were getting at the start of the season for the team we picked against Liverpool and Man City, like that Spurs team and performance was what people was like wanted our performance and team at Liverpool and Man City to be. That it was weak, it was defensive, it was negative, and you can see the logic, right? He's thinking, oh, they're a better team than us. Like we're gonna try and nick a goal on a long throw or a set piece or something, and then defend for us for the entire game. But like they have good players that they just left on the bench. Like Javi Simon should have started that game. Like,
it is interesting. Sorry, go on. No, it is interesting. Like I heard Frank's. I can't remember if it was pre or post match or both, but he was speaking a lot about like the intention was in periods to press us high and then in periods to sit off. But like I didn't see a second of pressing high. Whereas like, I do remember a game at Tottenham. I can't remember if it was last year or 2 years ago, but like we kind of did that. There was phases where we went man to man aggressively, really high, but then there were periods where we retreated and we were compact. And it's like I get it because there are phases and triggers that require you to do different things, but I didn't see any of that. And like what I was saying was, it does feel like there's a big disconnect between like what the words he says are and the actions you see on the pitch. And I don't know if that's like the players aren't playing for him. I didn't see them midweek against PSG, but it sounds like it was better. But yeah, it was embarrassing. Yeah, I'm with you on that. When the team sheet came out, because my headspace again, like I said, I was thinking a draw, to be honest, and then the teams dropped. I think we're gonna fucking smack them. Honestly, like I literally thought like 3-0 or something. Like I was so relaxed.
Yeah, I thought obviously be a difficult game, but get the first goal and it could be anything at that point.
Yeah, and what a first goal that was. That it's so funny because I was obviously listening to the commentary, right, which is like rare for me. I usually have no idea what the commentators are saying, and I remember who was it? Was it Gary Neville or someone was saying like in that passage just before, like Saliba needs to be braver on the ball. He needs to drive with it. And then he kind of did it. And then he popped it out. We manipulated it. I think Timber played it. Someone played it into Marino. And then that pass. Oh, my God. And then even Trossard, I know the first touch isn't so clean, but the recovery to get that strike off and yeah, what a goal. I'm curious to get your opinion though. How were you feeling like the 15, 20 minutes before that? Because as much as we started strong, I was getting to a point of, and I don't know if this is just fan bias PTSD stuff rather than logic, of like, oh, I think we need a goal here because otherwise I think I'm nervous. But how are you feeling?
Yeah, I mean, I was getting a bit irritated, to be honest. It was, and I think they were making it difficult for us to create chances. I never thought there was a threat from them. They didn't have a threat going the other way. Like, you know, you play against a team like Bayern the other night at 1-1. I was like shitting myself, to be honest. Even though I thought we were clearly the better team, you can see in their equaliser just the quality that they have. I didn't think Spurs had any of that on at the weekend, and so I was comfortable in the fact that we had probably 70 minutes to just score a goal, basically.
Yeah.
But like anything can happen in football, can't it? So it's always in the back of your mind that, you know, if they do nick a goal, what's it going to be? But I thought, you know, I think I was giving the boys till half time to at the very least before I started to chew my nails too far down to the quick.
Yeah, and it's funny, like it's funny how much my kind of perspective shifts during games. Because when the first went in, I literally said to my girlfriend who I was watching it with, I was like, "We're going to score another before halftime," like no doubt in my mind. And then I'm getting the order of Eze's goals confused. Was this the one where it was a bit scrappy? Like it was the second goal,
Yeah,
his first one, the one
yeah,
where there was arguments on if someone was offside in the eye
that was
line.
it.
It
Yeah,
was that one, yeah.
that was
But
it.
like,
Yeah.
you couldn't script it any sweeter. Like even the whole, I do think people have blown this a little bit out of proportion, but like in his pre-match presser when Frank was asked about Eze and he goes, "Who's Eze?" and then he kind of gets the hat trick, and like, I'm not a religious person, but like it's really nice seeing Eze's
Yeah.
story and his faith, and like he said, like he prayed for a hat trick on that day in particular in that game, and it's like he's such a likable guy. And the irony is that you wouldn't know this. I slagged him off quite heavily on a podcast recently where I kind of
Really?
want, yeah, I just wanted more. Yeah, I was very critical of him actually, and yeah, how was that for humble pie? I mean, like,
Well,
yeah. Sorry,
yeah.
go
I
on.
mean, he's got another level to go up. I mean, we saw it at the weekend. Like what he's bringing his shots, and he's the shootiest. He's one of the shootiest players in the entire league.
Yeah,
And we signed him in the summer, and it was like I'm one of these people that like I look at players' ages that we're signing,
okay.
and I thought for the price, given that he's 27 or whatever he is already, we need to get 4 or 5 good years out of him. He'll be in his 30s by the time the contract's up and all that stuff. So, like, I shouldn't think about it that way. I think I'm just a bit too logical in that sense. But the other half of my brain was like, yes, this is the Arsenal signing that we.
It's the vibes.
This is the vibe. This is the ultimate vibe signing. And he just brings that like just this extra layer of danger. And I think it must have been something that I don't know how involved Arteta was in the discussions with, you know, I don't know how driven it was by Berta versus Arteta, because I think it must have been quite difficult for Arteta to like embrace the danger a bit more. Because it's not just danger for the opposition, right? It's danger for us. Like if you're shooting too much, you're creating turnovers, you're creating transition opportunities and everything else, right? I think we need a bit more of that, or we needed a bit more of that for sure. We needed a bit more of the chaos. Eze definitely brings that, and I don't think this is his final form either. By the way, I think he ends up coming from the left, like Trossard.
Yeah.
I've seen a bit of chat about does Odegaard get back in the team? I think absolutely, yes, he does. But I think Eze ends up on the left where Trossard is at the moment. They're slightly different players, aren't they? But they're also similar in, you know, probably the most similar profiles on that left wing.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think Eze brings a different level of creativity and like threat to Trossard.
I think that's the thing. It's the threat, right? And like, because I actually think I think he'll go up a level with Odegaard coming back myself. And like when I should add some context when I said like I was slagging him off and stuff, like that was me being dramatic. But like I was disappointed in the sense that I thought he was playing within himself a bit. I thought he was playing it a little bit safe. And it was all within the thing of like, I understand. I don't think this position is probably like, I know everyone probably thinks he's a number 10. He's got to play 10. Like I'm with you. I think he will be played off the left, and I think that's where we'll see the best of him. Actually, I think him and Odegaard they will end up in pockets in similar lines very often, in my opinion, and they will be taking the piss out of teams, and then you have someone holding the width and stuff. But like all that to say, I wanted more from him, and then like what a way to kind of deliver that ask, I guess. Unbelievable, and then. Yeah, 2-0 going into halftime. And I'm genuinely thinking this could be 3-4-5 at this point, honestly. And then it's funny, you come out second half, and you still see the red seats and stuff. There'll be so many people miss the goal, and it's like, flipping hell. It's just that one goes in, and then did it 3-1? Or did it go 3-1? Or
no, it was went 3-0.
Sorry, but like we were 3-0 up, but then did they score?
Then it went 3-1. Yeah, it went 3-1 out of nowhere. And what a finish that was, by the way. Like
I was a bit annoyed with Zubimendi for that. That did feel a bit lapsed, but
it's one of those things, though, isn't it? Where like players make errors in a game. Like how often does that specific situation, if you freeze frame a bird's eye view of the pitch at the point Zubimendi loses the ball, how often does that end up in a goal for Spurs?
Yeah, like
never.
One in. I would love to know what the XG is on that. Actually,
the XG on that will be like 0.02 or something.
I was going to say like 1 in 100 or something. Yeah.
Yeah, and the only reason is because Raya's out of his goal. He's still got to make it inch perfect. Like he's got to, and he did right. He popped it straight in the top corner, just out of reach of Raya, just under the bar. Like it's
it's just one of them things. But I think this is where. I've seen shit like this happen before. And I think, you know what I was saying about how I was feeling in that 20-minute spell? It's because of stuff like that, where like it is football. Like there are moments that defy probability and logic and stuff. And like there was that run where we were just conceding a goal from like really low XG shots very consistently. So I think that is still in my brain, despite us. I think the biggest difference is now my real faith in us to not just score one, but like maybe break down the door and like consistent. Like because last year, I know we had injuries, but like last year and for little spells in the last 3-4 years, there have been certain types of defenses that equates to us not really creating the volume of chances or good quality chances. Whereas I feel like that is going away. Like I really don't doubt our ability to create good quality chances now. And I still think there's a level to go, but it was just funny. Like when I know we kind of jumped to the Spurs goal there, but like just seeing that 3-0 straight after half time, like, I was laughing. Like the first goal, I went mental. Second goal, I went mental. Third goal, I was just like, I was kind of giggling like a little child. But like, and again, I'm getting my order confused. Was Eze's second goal, was that the one where it was a bit clumsy with the control and then he slotted it with his left foot?
Left foot, that was it.
Yeah. What a fucking finish that was.
Yeah, I mean, all three were just lethal, absolutely lethal, clinical, just deadly.
Yeah, and then just seeing his celebration for the fourth, like he feels like a very normal bloke playing football. Like even his interviews, I don't know if you've seen. There's a podcast that's come out with him, and is it Akin Fenwa, the guy that hosts it? I can't remember, but like there's loads of clips I've been seeing on my algorithm and stuff. And he just seems like a normal bloke, the way he speaks and stuff, and seems very level-headed. But I was very happy for him, and it wrapped up like the perfect day, and I think the perfect weekend in the context of obviously, I mean, Liverpool haven't really been a threat in my head for a while anyway, but no, they lost. Man City, that was the one where I was starting to get nervous about Man City from the perspective of, do teams give up on playing them before the game's kicked off? Because I still believe there are structural weaknesses there. It was more the timing of them playing Newcastle prior to the weekend, where Newcastle weren't in their best rhythm. But one of my mates who like watches this show every week, Andrew, he was like, no, Newcastle will do him. And so like all of that combined, us going into Sunday, it was absolutely beautiful, going 7 points clear of them, 6 of Chelsea. arriving into Bayern. And before we go on to the Bayern game, I just want to get your opinion on, like, this will probably be fed by the conversation around Bayern as well. But he obviously went with Hincapié to replace Gabriel for Spurs.
Yeah.
Mosquera played there midweek. How do you see that decision going forward? What did you think of Hincapié? And then we can kind of touch on Mosquera a bit after.
Yeah, I really rate Hincapié, but he's not done too much of a centre back in a 4.
Say that again, sorry.
He hasn't done too much playing in a centre back in a 4. I don't think he played in midweek because I think he was tired. I think he played quite a lot for Ecuador. I think over the
Arteta said that, yeah.
So obviously Mosquera came in and did all right, did well. I don't think we can take very much from his performance at the weekend because he had fuck all to do. He just stood there watching us pump 4 goals past them most of the game and passing it to the left back whenever he got hold of the ball or whatever. But I think he's super aggressive. I think
very front-footed, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, I think it could be almost too front-footed against some proper top quality opposition. I think we might see quite a few rotations with him and Calafiore actually. So when they play in the same team, you could see Calafiore dropping into centre back and Hincapié going up the left. He's pretty good at crossing, that sort of thing. Yeah. So it just comes. It's just another extension of the just crazy unpredictability and depth and tactical, almost like, if you mind the pun, Arsenal that we've got.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just it's just mind blowing the amount of different ways we can beat a team or set up to play against a team.
We'll cover it later, but I'm very interested to, when we do our predicted 11s for the Chelsea game, I'm curious to see. And the predicted 11s are always what you think Arteta will do, not what we would do. Yeah. I'm very curious to see what you will put at centre back. And we've actually got Tommy in the chat. Hello, mate. FPL Tommy Gunn. He was, I don't know if you know. Yeah, you would have known. Emma jumped the wave. That did the predictions and stuff. Tommy was the leader for Arsenal last season. So, Tommy, whack it in the chat when we do the Chelsea predictions. Who you think is going to get the nod at centre back? We've also got Frost Greg in the chat. He says, "You're smashing it, guys. Best team in the world. Good luck to you." Greg is not actually an Arsenal fan, and he says it every single time he supports, but I always forget. But I appreciate you, Greg. I agree. We are the best team in the world, and I hope we are come May.
Yeah,
because we are right. Yeah, we are right now, but I hope we still are in May. Just before we move it on to Bayern, I'm trying to think, were there any key talking points from Tottenham I may have missed? Is there anything that you feel like you wanted to get off your chest that I've maybe not covered?
No, not really. I don't think so. I think Spurs are better than they showed at the weekend. I think when they get especially Kulusevski, one of the things I did before the game on Saturday was Google a little bit and just see when that fucker's coming back, because I really rate him. I thought if he's in contention for the weekend, it's a different game. But he wasn't. But when he comes back, I think it'll be different for them. But yeah,
I'll ask you one final question before we move on to Bayern. Percentage confidence wise in us winning the league, where are you at?
Blimey. I'm going to go 80.
I do feel how much. What would that go down to if we lose this weekend against Chelsea or draw?
Assuming Man City win.
Yes.
Yeah, they've got leads, haven't they? So if we lose at the weekend, I think that for me goes down to 60. If we draw, probably still like 65 or something like that, 65, 70. I don't I'm gonna eat my words here towards the end of the season, but I don't think, and this can sound, I don't think Man City got it in them. I really don't. I certainly don't think Chelsea have. And if they prove me wrong, they prove me wrong. But this isn't Man City of a few years ago, just as it isn't Arsenal of a few years ago, and people have got a lot of catching up to do. From what I've seen over the internet, people have got a lot of catching up to do, especially on that latter point. People are saying if City can be within 7 points of Arsenal in February, March, they'll catch them. Will they?
I know. I think this is. Yeah, no, I agree. This is why I really enjoy having like a community like this where you do speak to like the more engaged Arsenal fans and stuff, and like even football fans like Greg that tune in. Like it's that people do have a lot of catching up to do. It's like there's literal evidence of us sustaining. What was it? 115 lost 2 years ago from January onwards.
It was 16-1-1 the last 18. Yeah,
and it's like where. I don't get it. I do think. Yeah, I feel very confident. My only nervousness is, again, a variance thing of, like, if we get hit with, like, 8 injuries in a week, and it's, like, the period where we lost Saliba and Tomiyasu. It's like, if we lose the first choice and their alternative at the same time sort of thing, like, which is a freak thing, but I'm just hoping that by then, if that happens, we've just built enough buffer room. That we, just as long as everyone's fit, just go on a run. Just really go on a run. Just put 3 points on the board. I don't think 1 point this weekend is awful at all, by the way.
Neither do I. I want to keep them back. I want to keep them back at 6, or 9, hopefully. But yeah, 1 point wouldn't be a disaster at all.
It's funny. Sorry, go on.
I was going to say Arteta won't be thinking that, which is what we want. But yeah, I don't think it'd be a bad point at all.
Yeah, for sure. Like I saw midweek a lot of people saying, like, along the vibes of they would. I think a lot of people understandably said they didn't care about the Bayern game, but I did see a handful of people saying like they would almost throw it, they'd rotate. And to your point there, Mikel doesn't think that way. And that is why I believe we will win everything with him over a certain time span. Like, he is so ruthless in how he thinks. And like I said it in the group, I believed prior to the game, Wednesday was a huge opportunity for us to send a message around Europe and almost get respect, which I think we've been lacking. And I think other than a bitter Joshua Kimmich, it did exactly that. Wednesday was an absolute fucking clinic. And like, even I'm obviously an Arsenal fan, right? But like, I'm just a football nerd. Like, I just love watching good quality tactical football. And like, there were periods in that game where it was amazing. Like, it was so good to watch what they were doing, what we were doing. Like, you kind of hear Rice's post-match interviews talking about the level of it. Like, I think he said it was like tactically the highest game he's played this season. And like, he was saying it was confusing, like with how they were manipulating and moving people and like trying to get the reference points and stuff. Like, it was top quality stuff. But for me, it was like, that's the benchmark, right? Like, other than us, I'd say prior to Wednesday, they were the best team in Europe statistically, because I don't think they'd lost at all. And look what we fucking did to them. Like,
they've drawn one fucking game all year.
Yeah,
like they've been to PSG and smashed them. Like, it was 2-0 before Diaz got sent off at PSG, and they were just slicing them to ribbons. And then they come to the Emirates, and it's an even game in the first half, and it's not an even game in the second half. It's not. It was a game, but like, once we scored the second goal, it was.
It was game over, wasn't it? What do you think was because I agree with you in terms of the first half versus the second half. Do you have any strong opinions on what you thought changed or what the difference was between first and second? Go on.
The players, to be honest. So the fact that we could bring Madueke and Martinelli and Calafiori off the bench was huge for us in that game. I think they brought on. Did they bring on Jackson?
They did, yeah. I know you're quite big on him though, aren't you?
Yeah, no disrespect to Jackson, because I rate Nicholas Jackson, but he's not. It's not the same. Like, I think Luis Diaz was a massive miss for them.
Yeah.
I thought Gnabry was off it. I didn't think Gnabry had a good game at all for them. I thought Elise was fantastic.
He's a baller. Miles looked a little bit.
Miles
it feels a bit harsh to criticize, because I do think I can't remember the last time he had substantial minutes prior to that, and then it maybe was the last Champions League match day, and then to go cold in against Michael Elise does feel like, okay, maybe there's a learning there we can take into next time. Because I said to you or the group, like, I would quite like, and I think you said something similar, I'd like Miles to play next week against Brentford just to keep him warm. And I think you said you'd like him to play like every midweek pretty much until whenever. Yeah,
I think so. I mean, we've got midweeks in December with Brentford's Bruges away and Palace in the Cup.
Yep.
Just play him in all of those. I mean, maybe play Calafiori against Brentford if you want to be super safe. But I think him and White need to play more.
Yeah.
For sure. Because I think, kind of going back to your point earlier about drop-offs if we lose players, I think we're super well equipped now to just close ranks and deal with it, like we had done up front, for example. But like if we were to lose Saliba and Mosquera, for example, which would be the equivalent of Saliba and Tomiyasu, right now you could just stick Timber in at centre back and play White at right back, or White at centre back and play Timber at right back. Do you know what I mean? Like this, like it's not fucking Rob Holding, is it? Like this isn't like we're not there anymore. It's a totally different set of players. But we need to take advantage of the squad we've got now and the fact that players are coming back and just really make sure that we use them. And I think the fact that Mikel brought Saka off when it was 1-1 was super encouraging.
Yeah, for sure. And like even the changes as well. Like what changes did he make to the 11? Mosquera came in for Hincapié, and I feel like there was one. Was that it? Was that the only change?
No, Miles came in for Calafiori.
Oh, sorry, of course. Yeah, so like 2 changes, and then like the really encouraging use of subs, and like I think he took Miles off at the right time as well. Like Miles, as much as we love it, he wasn't having his best game. I thought their goal, as good as it was, like nice crossfield pass, good cross from, was it Gnabry that played it first time across the goal?
No, it was Elise. It was Elise.
Oh, it was Elise. Yeah, like I do. Where I sit, I was opposite you. You were in the West Stand, right? So I'm up at East Stand. So I'm like opposite the tunnel, but more towards the North Bank side. And I could see it crystal clear where I was. Like it, the minute, because the ball was going away from me. And the minute I could see the action of the guy going to play the ball, I could see Miles was like on his tiptoes, just no, sorry, the absolute opposite. He was flat-footed. And I was like, oh, that's bad. That's really bad. And like maybe I'm nitpicking there, but like I do think that is the sort of stuff of like going in cold. It is that kind of muscle memory of noticing triggers and stuff that you're maybe not aware of. So that's what I'm not concerned about it. I do think we could be managing him better, if I'm honest. I do feel like he surpassed expectations and has kind of, I do think there's a responsibility to bring that back down rather than just go back to zero. I believe you kind of go, you scale it down accordingly rather than go like you hit the heights of the Bernabeu, bossing it and stuff, and then like, yeah, mate, you're an 18-year-old again. You're not going to play. Like I do believe there was maybe an interim thing we could have done better to manage it, and I'm hoping that Wednesday was maybe a bit of a learning curve that the management takes into account as well, I guess.
Yeah, it's very difficult, isn't it? I mean, the fact that the England, the whole England thing as well. I worry about that with Miles because obviously he was playing for England. I think at the time, I was like, this guy's going to fucking play at the World Cup. But this guy is going to be England's starting left back at the World Cup. And then he wasn't in the squad the last time because he hasn't been playing minutes. And obviously the managers called him out on that, like almost quite rightly, really.
Yeah, I wasn't upset with anything Tuchel said, if I'm honest.
No, but I think that needs managing very carefully in terms of the impact that could have on him. I think, and I think that his mentality is. I don't think you can question his mentality at this point, given what we've seen from him, given what I was doing at 18 and probably what you were doing at 18 is probably slightly different. But I do think he needs a bit of management. There's been chat about him going elsewhere in January and whatever else. Like, I think that's all bullshit. But yeah, I think for him
Sorry, go on.
Go on, sorry.
No, you go.
I was going to say, for him, and I think also to a lesser extent Ethan, it just needs managing a little bit more.
Yeah, I was going to ask, at left back we have got Calafiori, who I think he's improving so much. Like him defensively has improved so much, even in 1v1s, like the way he approaches situations. Like, I do think this is one thing that kind of gets lost. Like Arteta, as tactically smart as he is, he's a fucking phenomenal coach. Like in the way he improves everyone's games and little details. Like Calafiori looks like a really good defender at the minute, as well as all of the unicorn things he brings going forward. But where I was going with that is like we've got him there, we've got Hincapié. Miles obviously impressed so much last season there, but Miles was a midfielder growing up. Do you see any minutes for him there for the rest of the season in midfield? What do you see Miles's role in the squad for the rest of the season, I guess?
It's difficult, isn't it? Like, it's really difficult to say. Like, I'd like to see him in midfield. I'd like to see him given a go in midfield in some games. But when you're not training there, and when you're not, when you're not used to, almost not used to playing there anymore, he's been a left back for the past year, which is in reality is a huge part of his kind of career so far, isn't it? So yeah, it's tough. I think he'll continue to get minutes at left back. I think he's probably the second choice left back at the moment.
Because of Gabriel being out?
No, I think anyway.
Okay.
I do think Hincapié is very close to that, but I think he has more left centre back minutes there. Can I see him playing in midfield this season? Probably not without injuries. I don't think. Like if you think about Rice, so Rice gets injured, Merino comes in. If Zubimendi gets injured, do you play Miles in the 6? Probably not. You probably play Rice there, don't you? And
yeah,
bring Merino in. I don't know. It's difficult. It's difficult to say.
Yeah. Fair play. Yeah. I think we'll see him used a lot in December. Whether it's the every midweek we'd like, or there's certain games like Wolves at home where I'm just like, that feels like just play him. Like just keep him warm. But that's one area of fullback that's going really well. Has elements of it that I think, we need to keep an eye on. There's another side of fullback where fucking hell, Julian Timber, the level this guy is performing at. And like, I hate this when this happens, but I feel guilty of it, where like it takes a player to score to get the plaudits. Like he deserves the plaudits regardless of that goal. But it puts his name in the headlines, right? And like even in that Eze interview with Akin Fenway, he was saying that the one player that surprised him was Timber. Like, and he was kind of alluding to his technical ability as well as his strength. And like I've said it before, this guy is a physical defender that can play like a number 10 with his agility. Like he's a fucking freak. Like, yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't want the goal to be the reason to get that he gets his plaudits, but it was an important goal, right? It was another set piece, one that Joshua Kimmich was crying over, that helped us unlock the game state. And it was another thing though, where like when we went 1-0 up in that game, I know there was a spell where it was like, oh, okay, this is a chess match, and then they did get the goal. But whenever we're 1-0 up, I just back us. I think we're so good, and kind of showed. But yeah, how were you feeling when he nodded that one in? You were obviously in the ground. I leapt out of my seat.
Yeah, I think so. Obviously buzzing. The atmosphere is a bit more muted though than later on. So when Madueke's goal went in, it like especially when Martinelli's goal went in, it fucking went off.
Yeah,
like it was, and after that as well. I think after the Madueke goal, it just went up a level. Like it was a cauldron after that. Like Harry Kane was just taking.
That was amazing.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Every foul the ref was given against us was just a fucking personal affront. Like it was, but before that, it was quite muted.
I agree. It was very subdued, yeah. And I was disappointed because I was like, guys, this is my first fucking game since Leeds at home. Can we up it a bit? I agree, but yeah, it was. I don't know. This for me again. It was going into the game like Bayern are Europe's benchmark. This is my headspace Wednesday morning. And I was watching that thinking, if they're the benchmark of Europe, what are we? Like, it was absolutely phenomenal what we did to them. And like you said, the balls to take off Saka in the 65th, 67th minute, whenever it was. Madueke looked good when he came on, but like it was just that I was obviously happy we scored, but I was a little bit like, oh, for miles, where like that was Calafiori's instant impact. But mate, that ball against I was in line with that. I assume you were maybe, but I was
just a little bit.
But I was from the opposite side, and like I literally said, like that's going to be a goal. Like as the ball was going, because he darted that in where you just knew any touch on it, that's going in. Like that is putting it on a plate. And Madueke, happy for him because he was looking really good before his injury, in my opinion. So you could tell how much of a relief that was. And yeah, 2-1 up. Emirates is rocking, like you said. Third goal goes in, and it's like it's a cautious rocking at that point because it's like Martinelli takes it around Neuer, and you're like you're waiting. Like I don't know about you, I was like, is he going to hit the target? And then I see it trickling in, and then I'm jumping. But it just felt obviously. I think many different things, right? Like my childhood had a lot of Bayern slappings in there. I was at the quarterfinal. I was at the Allianz a couple of years ago, and it just felt like we, especially people like you and I, we know how good we are, but it felt like an actual delivery of like everyone in the world is watching this. Like we don't need to explain to people how good we are; they can see it. And that's the thing that it feels like at the minute. So I think Wednesday was absolutely massive. And in terms of the league phase, we're the only team are we the only team unbeaten now, let alone that's won them all?
Yeah, no, we are. Yeah. Everybody else is on. I think we're 3 clear, aren't we? So yeah.
Sure. So then what's left is Club Bruges, Inter and Kairat. So what do you think we need to be able to finish top 2 from the remaining 3?
Oh, blimey! I reckon if we draw with Inter, what we're on 15, I think 20 points will do it.
Yeah.
To be honest,
Yeah,
well, we're so well positioned. We should win the league stage from here, obviously. But yeah, finishing top 2 is the target. You don't get anything finishing first over second, do you? So apart from good media coverage.
Yeah, exactly. But there is one player that we have to talk about from the game. Like I think we've touched on like Timber. We spoke about the left back situation, mentioned the subs, but like Declan Rice. Oh my word!
Like, what more is there to say? Genuinely?
I don't know. This is the thing. I'm like, we need to have a conversation with him, but I'm always like, I don't know what I want to say.
I mean, the guy does it every game. It is every game at this point. I cannot remember the last time he had a bad game. It might have been West Ham at home when we lost 2-0 fucking 2 years ago, something like that.
Genuinely. Yeah, it was.
Like that was the last time I remember him having a bad game. Like he's a minimum 7 out of 10, often 9, often 9.5. He's immense, and you can see it in his eyes as well this season.
There's a needle about him, isn't there?
Yeah.
Like on Sunday, I love this. Like, as much as I'm quite nerdy with how I consume and see football, I'm very Brexit, Mike Bassett 442 and how I feel football. And I love to twat people when I play. Like I was never the strongest, I was never the quickest, but I was smart. Like I knew where the game was going and stuff, and I would just fucking get there ahead of someone and absolutely leave a foot in. So like seeing Rice on Sunday saying, "Oh, let's fucking kill them." Yeah. Seeing him go and leave one in on Xavi Simons, seeing him go and clamp Kane, I'm like, yeah, fucking have him. Like, because that's how I play football. Like, I'm a cunt when I play. Like, I'm a massive, massive cunt when I play football, and I love it because and again for years I just saw Arsenal bullied, right? Like for years, that's all I saw. So like, I love seeing it. And yeah, is this the best standard you've seen him play since he's been at Arsenal, do you think?
Comfortably. Yeah. Like everything's there now. Like he nearly scored an unbelievable goal in midweek as well, where he just runs away from everybody. Like he's an unstoppable force especially defensively, but in terms of the attacking side of his game, he's got the ability to be incredible there as well. Like he fucking smashes the ball.
I know.
Like his ball striking is so good. He can carry. His passing range is improving. Like, I mean, the guy's what is the guy? He's like 20. Is he 26? Is he something like that?
About that, yeah.
26. Like, he's probably a year or two off prime.
It is terrifying.
Like, what are we talking? What could we be talking about in a couple of years' time with him? Like,
Arteta was asked in his presser today. Actually, someone asked him, like, is he? It was the words Declan Rice and Ballon d'Or were used in the same sentence. I can't remember what the question was, but it's like to your thing there of like, what are we talking about in 2 years? It's like, who knows? Like, if we go and win the league this year, if England has a successful summer, if we're thereabouts again next year, like, who knows in 2 years' time what we're talking about? Like, his consistency isn't something I fear dropping away at all, to be honest. And it made me laugh, actually. One thing he said, you know, that moment where he broke away and he kind of drove with the ball, took the shot, and Neuer saved it. Like, go back and watch it. Madueke is like either parallel to him or just behind him, and attempts to either make a run on the outside or the inside, and he's like, I can't catch him. just doesn't, just stops. And there's that element to him. His anticipation of where the ball is going to be. Like, he's the one that wins the ball and anticipates it to then set it to Eze, who plays Calafiori, who plays in Madueke and scores. Like, the amount of times Sunderland away, was it him that regained the ball to then play it to Marino, who then popped it? Like, but the amount of times he does it and it doesn't result in a goal, but it stops them attacking us. Like, he is a joke. He's an absolute joke. And like, I know people say it all the time, but the price tag, like, I'm not quite in there. Like, we got him half price, so as much as it's a funny song, but like, the price tag is not an issue. Like, it is a genuine bargain. Like, it's absolutely mental.
Nobody's ever said anything about it, and he's the only player of that sort of price that no one's ever said anything about. Well, I mean, Caicedo is great now. When he first joined Chelsea, he, like, first 6 months, people were saying he was a rip-off. Enzo Fernandez saying, like, no one had a word to say about Declan Rice on that front at all. And that's what we need to know, I think, just in terms of what kind of impact he's had.
Exactly. You mentioned two names there, which I'm going to use as the open goal to transition into the Chelsea preview. So, Chelsea update. Cole Palmer is available to start, apparently. Obviously, you mentioned two names there, Enzo Fernandez, Caicedo. Do you think Palmer will get thrown straight in? Because then that obviously has an impact on where Enzo plays, what they do with the fullbacks. And so you're for people on the podcast, you're saying no.
No, I hope he does, because I think
he'll
be undercooked. I think it will result in some pretty
break his other toe.
Well, yeah, I think it will result in some, or could result in some fairly large structural mistakes from Maresca as well if he does play. Although if he does play, I'd expect it to be on the right rather than in midfield.
Okay.
But I think they need to play a 6 in this game, a proper 6. So I think Andre Santos will start for them.
Interesting.
And I think it will be him and Caicedo, Enzo, and then Palmer or Esteval on the right. I assume Esteval will play, if not Palmer.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he's obviously going to be able to make an impact from the bench. He's a terrific player. But I wouldn't expect to see him start, I don't think, for the weekend.
Yeah, me either. Before we get into it, in terms of like what we think our lineup will be and stuff, we touched on them a little bit earlier, and I think we both kind of alluded to the fact that, like, we don't think Chelsea will sustain a whole season of challenging for the league. But like, where is your head at going into this weekend in terms of the difficulty of the game, the maybe magnitude of it in the context of the title?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't put too much stock in the magnitude of it in the context of the title race. Like, I think if they were to beat, if we assume they beat us, like, they're still rank outsiders for me in the title race. I think it benefits Man City more than it does, almost more than it does them if they beat us. I don't think you can count them out. I think there's a set of circumstances where they do win the title this year. I just think they're very unlikely to do so. But yeah, I think it'd be a very difficult game. I think it will be probably similar-ish difficulty to Bayern, in that I expect them to have chances and opportunities to take a foothold in the game in certain passages. I think we'll dominate the game. I think we will be the better team almost, because I think like this is obviously my Arsenal bias coming through.
Well, you're on an Arsenal podcast, so bias away.
Exactly. I think we're the better team in pretty much every game that we play, to be honest. And like if we don't end up winning, it's because of stuff like Sunderland, where they have to well-work goals against the run of play, whatever else. So
I have some really unpopular opinions on Chelsea I'd like to share, and Maresca.
Go for it. I'm all for it. Unless they're positive.
No, they're not.
Okay.
Like he when Arteta first started, everyone called him like the training. Oh, what was it people used to say? Like he used to put the cones out for Pep and stuff.
PE teacher.
PE teacher. Like I'm not saying Maresca's a bad manager, but I do get the vibe in whenever I watch Chelsea, it is one way or the highway. Like he is only able to replicate what he has seen as an assistant, in my opinion, rather than seeing any nuanced or creative solutions of his own. Whereas Arteta has facilitated so many different variations in build-up play and adding different tools to us and stuff. Like with Man City, it is with Chelsea, it is the 3-2. You get it into that, you pop it wide, that's it. Like, and I find them I've got to say, I didn't see them midweek against Barcelona because I was traveling, but I find them really boring. And again, what you said earlier about Tottenham maybe being more of what people think Arsenal are, there's an element of that with Chelsea, in my opinion, where they are more stale and passive than people realize, in my opinion. Like I'll watch games with them and it's like I get what they're doing, I understand it, and I think it is effective, but again it's the disingenuous reporting of teams that really fucks me off, because like you see Chelsea, centre backs will stand with their studs on the ball, they'll wait good 5-6 seconds, someone moves, then they pass it, and it's like that's all the things we kind of get accused of like really slowing it down. And like I'm not disputing its effectiveness, I think they're a really dull team. And him as a manager, I do think he is very much a copy and paste what he's seen work as an assistant, rather than anything particularly new of his own that I think he's able to make work. Because I think, again, a thing that gets massively overlooked, it's not a squad that's been put together with fucking peanuts. Like there's good quality talent there. And I don't know. That's just something that's been on. I said it last year when we played him as well. I'm not saying I don't rate him. I guess I am. I don't know. Like he's a good manager. I just think he lacks individuality, in my opinion. Maresca.
Yeah, he's not there yet.
Yeah,
he's not there yet. I think I've been impressed with a couple of performances, like obviously the PSG one in that pre-season tournament in July, and then the Barcelona one midweek. They probably just shaded it until the red card, I think. Had a few goals disallowed and everything else. So Barcelona were shit. Like let's not beat around the bush. Like Barcelona were crap. They didn't have Pedri. They looked as though they had no ideas.
Yeah. Got my mate Chris in the chat. A convincing win against Chelsea might actually cause me to levitate. Our midfield in particular is going to need to be on top of things. He also said he had a meeting, so he's missed most of this, but he's going to check it out afterwards. But he said, what a week it's been for us, sort of results that will be remembered for a while. Absolutely. Yeah. He's also gone on to say a lot of why Chelsea beat Barca comes down to Flick just being a rich man's Ange, does not know how to set up in any other way other than a suicidal high line, even though defenders are not good enough. And he thinks we'd embarrass Barcelona if we faced them and play a high line. I agree. I think, was it last year where people were talking about who we could have got? Oh, yeah, it was, wasn't it? It was like, if we beat PSG, could we have faced Barca in the final?
Yeah.
Because I think it was Barca Inter, right? And I was very much like, I was like, give me Barcelona. I think we'd fucking slap them.
Yeah.
So yeah, interesting. But all right, for the game, predicted lineups. We didn't mention him. Odegaard came back midweek.
Yeah.
Trossard is a potential doubt. Tommy's given his comment on what he thinks will happen, which I'll say after because I don't want to influence what you say.
Yeah.
Odegaard came back on midweek. Trossard's a potential doubt. I think the official line on Trossard was the Arteta classic of, we've got another test this afternoon. We'll see.
Yeah.
But I do think subjectively, he kind of alluded to like, I think he'll be okay or he'll have a good chance. So yeah, take it away. I guess the only question marks are... No, I'll let you take it away. You go back to front how you want, what you think the 11 will be for Sunday. And again, it's what we think Arteta will do, not necessarily what we would.
Yeah. So I think it'd be Raya in goal. I think it'll be back four of Calafiori, Hincapié, Saliba, and Timber. Rice, Zubimendi. I'm going to go Eze. I'm going to go Madueke left wing. And I'm going to go Marino and Saka.
That's what Tommy said. Madueke in for Trossard, then the same as against Tottenham. What's your thinking on two things? You're thinking on Hincapié versus Mosquera and the thinking on no Odegaard for this.
So I think Hincapié would have played midweek if he was up to speed and fitness. I think the Mosquera in there was rotation. And I think Hincapié being left-footed and very good is it kind of gives him the edge there. And then I think with Madueke, I think if Odegaard was up to speed, I think we would see Odegaard midfield as they left. I really do. I think that keeps the same or similar dynamic, the Calafiori Trossard dynamic we've got on the left. That kind of preserves that a bit more if you have Eze there. I think that Martinelli is going to be better coming off the bench against tired legs. I can't think of it. Like, there's not many people in world football that can just fucking cash it in like he can against tired legs. And it's such a like a worn trope, isn't it? Like bringing one against tired legs. But I think
when it works.
It is a massive advantage having someone like him there. So I think we might see Odegaard come on and Eze move to the left. We might see Martinelli come on for Madueke. Like, there's just so many. Again, there's so many options. I don't think. Go on, sorry.
Where do you think we are with Gyökeres's return?
I don't know. You know, like,
it's really unknown, isn't it?
Yeah, it's. So when he first got injured, it was like, oh, he's going to be all right. Like, he'll be back for Spurs. And then all of a sudden, it was he's still a doubt. And he's not in the squad, and then he's not in training. He's not in the Bayern squad. There's no chat about him having been in played any minutes today in that behind closed doors. Yesterday, sorry, in that behind closed doors friendly or whatever else.
On that, Jesus did, and when
no, I know, yeah, I know, yeah. him and Nwaneri both had a game yesterday. Like, could we see a surprise Gabriel Jesus on the bench? I mean, yeah, I don't know. But
this is the sort of game, you know, when you talk about the Martinelli against tired legs, I do look at this as like, I like what we're doing with Marino up top, actually. And I think it could be really useful in how we could manipulate and move Chelsea around. And I really like the idea of, if Gyökeres is available, having him off the bench in a game like this, I think could be really powerful. And then on Odegaard, I almost look at it as like similar to Bayern, just bring him on, get some minutes in his legs, maybe look at reintroducing properly against Brentford, and then like kind of manage the load accordingly. But my predicted 11 is, I think, the same. The Hincapié Mosquera thing, I don't think is a debate personally. I think Hincapié's first choice with who's available at the minute, and Mosquera will just be there to kind of take minutes as and when required. It was never really like, on FPL review, I put Hincapié's minutes as like almost like Gabriel's. To the point of like, I was not concerned about Mosquera taking minutes in the league, other than rotation as and when it's required. But I'm not sure on the Madueke Trossard thing. I think I'm predicting the same, but like if Trossard is fit, I think he'll start and play off the left. Like it's just how I'm shooting in the dark, just have no idea on how serious it is, and it's more the whole playing against your old team thing. I'm like, I don't know. Like, and Trossard's just been so effective. Just if he's fit, I would just start him. But if he's not, I trust Madueke and really like what he has to offer. So
yeah.
Do you know what? I'll hedge my bets. I think Trossard will be fine and he'll start.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. Like I think, if we knew Trossard was at full fitness, I think he'll start too. I just don't think we'll risk him.
Yeah,
I think we're past the point of risking players. I think we like if anyone feels anything, it's like get him off and put him in cotton wool for 2 weeks, and we'll bring somebody else on who's.
No, you are definitely right, and maybe that's me needing to update my thinking. Actually, like there is literally, as good as he's been, there is no need to risk him with Madueke available there, who looks good.
Yeah, no, he does. Yeah. I was really impressed with him the other night. Like I got Sterling vibes from him for the goal. In terms of his movement.
I was going to. You need to clarify what Sterling you're talking about there, because you're going to send some fan bases.
Oh, prime Sterling, back post tap in Man City Sterling.
Yeah.
You call him what you like. He was unbelievably good at back post, like just box movement and creating space for himself and chances for himself like that, and getting on the end of stuff. And I'm wondering whether there's going to be I'm wondering whether that's kind of the role that Arteta's envisioning for Madueke going forwards.
Possibly.
That sort of role. But
there was one moment that cracked me up / was concerning, where it was when he was on the right and he was trying to make a recovery run and he looked like he had a fucking truck on his back, and I was just hoping that that's just rustiness. But
yeah,
I was like, you need to shake that truck off if you have any intention of starting anytime soon, son. But yeah. All right. So that's the 11s we're thinking. Everyone, if you're still in the chat, let us know what you think the score will be. I will let you go first. Before you give the scoreline, how do you kind of see the game panning out against Tottenham? We started strong, then there was a 15-20 minute spell where they were trying to weather the storm. Then the floodgates opened. Bayern, say it was like a tactical masterclass from both teams in periods before we then kind of ran away with it. Do you see any similarities in how you think Sunday will go? I think you said you could maybe see it similar to the Bayern game.
Yeah, I think it'd be more like Bayern. I think it'll be hard the first 15 minutes. I think it'd be very difficult. I think they'll be bang up for it. I think they'll be into it. I think after that we take a foothold in the game, not necessarily with possession either. Like I think they'll have more possession than us throughout the game.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But I think we'll have the better chances and we'll have the better of the game in terms of what matters. But it's not going to be a blowout game. I can't see us dominating for 90 minutes. It's going to be a difficult one, I think.
And score?
1-0 to us.
All right, we've got 1-0 to the Arsenals. I'm going to make it a hat trick. Am I? My problem is I get talked into us winning every single game on these podcasts. Because I'm like, all we do is talk about our strengths and how good we are. So it's like, oh, we're going to win. But I wouldn't be surprised if this is a draw. I'll say that.
The thing is, though, we are rightly favourites in just about every single game, right? So unless we're going to Anfield or the Etihad or somewhere crazy, Allianz or somewhere like that, we're probably going to be favourites to win the game. So predicting us to win, every game, you're almost like if you're trying to predict a draw or a loss in these sorts of games, you're kind of almost trying to you are almost like crystal balling, aren't you, and trying to shoot fish in the barrel a little bit in terms of that.
Yeah, for sure.
I think
I will sit on the fence. This is where my brain gets so conflicted, and it's very much a cop out. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's a 1-1, but there is a scenario where I wouldn't be surprised if there's a 20, 25 minute spell in the game where it's like, fucking hell, Arsenal are different gravy.
Yeah.
And like in that spell, we're efficient and things fall into place, and it's like 2-0, maybe 2-1, as Chris is saying. So for the sake of a prediction, I'll give a 1-1. That's genuinely what I think will happen, but I would not be at all surprised if we go and win there 2-1, I would say. I do think Chelsea will score, unfortunately.
Yeah.
We will leave it there. Tom, absolute pleasure. I know we've been speaking for a long time about trying to get this done and trying to get you on. So it was great to get you on. Tom's not on the socials, so if you are watching live, make your love known. Drop it in the comments and stuff. I thought this was great, and I'm sure everyone did as well. I hope you enjoyed it as well. In terms of next episodes, we'll be back on Tuesday. Got Simon Collins coming back on. So anyone that doesn't know, he's obviously the Arsenal journo for the Standard. So yeah, he'll be coming back on Tuesday. So we'll review Chelsea and preview Brentford. And yeah, I don't know if that'll be Tuesday afternoon or evening, but obviously hit the bell so you know when we go live. But like I said, Tom's not on the socials. So drop all your love in the chat and in the comments below. Tom, anything else from you?
No, just thanks very much for having me, mate. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, absolute pleasure. It was a great chat, and fingers crossed it's another big performance on Sunday to cap off a big week. For 3 points will be absolutely phenomenal. We'll leave it there, ladies and gents. Thanks very much, Tom. Pleasure as always. Up the Arsenal.
Bro, cheers.